Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi lurches from one scandal to the next. Corruption, fraud, wild sex parties, and now accused of sex with an underage prostitute.
Berlusconi essentially wrote the Donald Trump playbook. A media-savvy real estate mogul turned populist campaigner, he mobilized voter sentiment against immigrants and used his personal charisma to brush off scandals about his taxes and his personal life.
There's always been scandal, crimes and sex in politics, but Silvio Berlusconi was the man who made it his own, doused it in fake tan and wrapped it in a bandana. He dominated Italian life for decades, redefining the centre-right and reinventing the populism we see today.
We need to talk about Silvio Berlusconi, Italian real estate and media tycoon and 3 times Prime Minister of Italy, pretty much the Italian Trump. Berlusconi's life was marked by significant achievements and many legal controversies. As we get to this topic, I have 2 disclaimers. One, I was living in Italy while Berlusconi was Prime Minister, and his policies personally impacted me. I've never liked him, I have never voted for him, and even though I will try to report the facts to the best of my ability, I am biased on this topic. Second, there is a lot about Silvio Berlusconi that I will not cover, like his confirmed ties with the Italian mafia, his friendship with dictators, or his numerous sexual scandals. I cannot cover all of this in one video. I'll try to leave you some resources in the description. This video focuses on Berlusconi's money laundering and fraud. Before we start, hi, my name is Julia. I'm a certified anti-money laundering specialist, and in my day job, I help businesses comply with anti-money laundering regulations. Here on YouTube, I talk about money laundering, fraud, and all related crimes. If you're interested on these topics, please like, comment, subscribe. You know, all of these things really help the channel. Today, we're talking about Silvio Berlusconi, and we will start from Berlusconi, real estate, and media empire. Berlusconi was born in Milan in 1936 in a middle-class family. His mother, Rosa, was a stay-at-home mom, and his father, Luigi, was a bank clerk and later general counsel of Banca Rasini. Put a pin on Luigi Berlusconi and Banca Rasini, as we will talk about them again in a few minutes. In the late 1950s, Berlusconi attended the University of Milan, where he graduated with a law degree. In the early years of his career, he worked in various sales and marketing positions and even as a musician. I know. In 1961, Berlusconi started building his real estate empire and created multiple real estate developer companies, especially one called Edilnord. Through these entities, Berlusconi and his business partners acquired and developed properties in the Milano area. Already at the beginning of Berlusconi's real estate career is tainted by allegations of having obtained funds from the mafia to kickstart his initial development projects. Apparently, for his first project, Berlusconi received a bank guarantee loan from Banca Rasini, the bank where Berlusconi Sr. was working as general counsel. Bank guarantee loans means that the bank acts as a guarantor for a loan. So if the creditor, Berlusconi and his companies, does not pay the debt, the bank picks up the bill. Banca Rasini was later revealed to be the bank of choice for the mafia in northern Italy for money laundering. Little digression here on Banca Rasini. During the 1980s, Banca Rasini was investigated in relation to facilitating fund transfer to and from foreign accounts without proper verification of the origin of the capital. The investigations indicated that the bank had a network of clients that included members of the Sicilian mafia, including well-known mafia bosses like Totò Riina and Bernardo Provenzano. According to the investigation, the bank served as a channel for the transfer of illicit funds, often concealing the true nature of the funds through phantom accounts and multiple transfers. In 1994, Banca Rasini was placed under seizure by the Bank of Italy for violation of money laundering regulations, and the bank was subsequently closed. This is the bank where Berlusconi Sr. was working as a general counsel and where Berlusconi Jr. took a bank guarantee loan to finance his real estate projects. That's a good start. Moving on, with substantial capital from his real estate empire and who knows what else, Berlusconi founded Fininvest, an holding investment company used to manage all of his enterprises. Through Fininvest in the late 1970s and throughout the 1980s, Berlusconi purchased TV channels, publishing magazines, and even AC Milan. Not satisfied with owning a large chunk of Italian media, through Fininvest and later Mediaset, a separate holding company designed to manage all media-related enterprises, Berlusconi acquired TV channels in France, Germany, and Spain. Silvio Berlusconi's control over his vast media empire played a crucial role in his political career, allowing him to influence public opinion, shape his image, and dominate the political landscape for 2 decades. Having served 3 non-consecutive terms as Prime Minister of Italy, the power and the connections Berlusconi gained in his political career skyrocketed his money laundering and fraud as well. Let's talk about the second chapter, Berlusconi political career. During the 1980s, Berlusconi was close to the Italian Socialist Party, having a close friendship with its leader Bettino Craxi. But in 1992, the Socialist Party and other major Italian political parties like the Communist Party and the Christian Democratic Party collapsed in a nationwide corruption scandal which we call Tangentopoli. The scandal involved bribes to so many politicians that around 80% of all prominent political figures got arrested, fled the country, or had their credibility so compromised that they had to leave politics forever. The dissolution of traditional parties created a power vacuum that Berlusconi seized to fund his right-wing party called Forza Italia, which translates to "Yay, Italy!" or something like that. Berlusconi was elected as Prime Minister for the first time in 1994, and for the following 2 decades until 2011, he was either Prime Minister or had other prominent roles like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Ministry for Economy. Numerous scandals and investigations have risen during Berlusconi's political career. In particular, as Prime Minister, Berlusconi had often been accused of manipulating tax law that favor his businesses and his friends. Some of the trials against Berlusconi ended with a statute of limitation because the Italian justice system is very slow and because Berlusconi's lawyers are very good at stalling. But there is one key trial that was concluded with a conviction, and this is the Mediaset trial. In 2013, Berlusconi was convicted of embezzlement, fraud, and tax evasion. The trial revealed that Mediaset had brought the right to broadcast American movies in Italy indirectly through numerous offshore companies. The movie programming rights were sold and bought multiple times before arriving at Mediaset, and at each passage the invoices were inflated. Let's say, for example, that the programming rights cost $100. A company part of Berlusconi fraud scheme pays the right for $100 to the owner. Then it resells them to another sister company for $110. Then it sells again for $120 to another sister company, and so on, until the rights get to Mediaset at a much higher price than the original price. The investigation revealed that Berlusconi received the extra money from these fraudulent transactions and put the illicit funds in bank accounts in tax havens like Switzerland, the Bahamas, and Monte Carlo. He did not control directly these bank accounts, but the accounts were connected to Berlusconi via nominees and shell companies. Berlusconi gained 280 million euros from this scheme. Berlusconi was sentenced to 4 years in prison, but he never set foot in prison. He ended up doing house arrest and social services. The conviction also included a 2-year ban from taking any political position. In fact, there is a little bit of a hiatus in Berlusconi's political career, but once the ban expired, he came back at 82 years old as he was elected to the European Parliament in 2019. He also attempted to become the president of Italy, which is different from the prime minister. We have the president, who is the head of state, and then we have the prime minister, who is the head of government, so they're 2 different roles. Anyway, he tried to be elected as president in 2022, but it didn't really work. He fell back on the Italian Senate, where he was elected in 2022, and that's his last political post, as he died the following year. We are getting to the end of the video, approaching the last chapter on the conclusions. We have a say in Italian that everyone is a saint after they die. I'm sure it's true in many other countries, but it is exceptionally true in Italy. Berlusconi died in June 2023 of leukemia-related complications. He left his real estate and media empire to his heirs, and he also left a successful political party, Forza Italia, even though not as successful as during his heydays. Berlusconi remains for many a very popular figure, and a few days after his death, an airport in Milan was renamed Silvio Berlusconi Airport as an homage to the dear leader. If you ask me, I think that Italy is worse off after 2 decades of Berlusconi and Berlusconism, probably because I dealt with anti-money laundering in my professional life. Most of all, I find unacceptable the years of tax evasion, fraud and money laundering. Through the Mediaset trial, we saw that Berlusconi used common money laundering techniques. The complex network of sister and parent companies used to inflate the invoices, the fake invoices, and the accounts held offshore under nominees and shell companies. The investigations lasted for years, and the hardest part was demonstrating the connection between the illegal activities and Berlusconi. This is where the work of financial institutions with anti-money laundering obligations is key. Thus, financial institutions need to understand who their clients are and monitor their transaction, and obviously this is hard when the client is a criminal and they lie about their identities or try to hide the real owner of the assets. But what financial institutions can do is detect any inconsistency in the client's behavior or the transactions and documents provided by the client. They also need to keep records and report suspicious activity to the competent authorities, usually the Financial Intelligence Unit. This process of monitoring, record keeping, and reporting is crucial in any fraud and money laundering investigations like the Mediaset trial. If you made it till here, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the video. Did you know that Silvio Berlusconi was a convicted criminal? I don't know how many people outside of Italy know about that, and I'm very curious. This is all from me now. Comment, like, subscribe, you know the usual. Also, give me a follow on LinkedIn where I talk more about anti-money laundering, and I'll see you on the next one.